Morning, I'm Steven Spriggle. This is MorningBit. Let's get to it. Top 3 things I think are important today for Bitcoin. The first of which is the idea of incentivizing Bitcoin full nodes. Now, Bitcoin full nodes provide a crucial piece to the infrastructure of Bitcoin itself in that they provide a means to submit transactions, check on transactions, as well as they host the entirety of the blockchain, which is basically a complete ledger of all transactions that have ever happened with Bitcoin. Now, that size of the blockchain has been increasing steadily. It's at about 12 to 13 gigs right now, but 2014 is looking like it's going to be a year of pretty heavily increased transactional volume, so you might see that go up quite a bit. But originally, Bitcoin nodes were a one-to-one relationship between full nodes and miners. As things progressed into pool mining, you saw these full nodes basically be hosted by the pool itself, and then all of the miners would contribute against that pool. You've also seen at the same time a number of users contributing just off of their goodwill, contributing full nodes to the network itself to maintain the decentralization of the network. But as the memory requirements, bandwidth requirements, and storage requirements increase, you're seeing less and less incentive to continue to run this because it becomes more and more costly for these individuals to contribute. So this is a real concern to maintaining the integrity of the decentralization of the Bitcoin network. And there's a number of solutions that might be possibilities, and we'll probably start seeing that played out in 2014, 2015, 2016 as this concern becomes more evident inside the community. And there's a number of ways to do this. You could have it be that businesses that are providing Bitcoin services simply run a Bitcoin full node to contribute back to the network. Even if they're not doing mining services or anything like that, they'll just contribute it back. Another option is actually having the miners themselves, even the ones in the pooled infrastructure, being required to actually host full nodes themselves. But there are considerations around that, especially with new technologies such as ASICs, making it not really a practicality. Another option is actually increasing the fee and then distributing that between the full nodes as well as to the miners themselves, who maintain the integrity of the transactional history. So there's a lot of considerations around this. I think it's something the community will have to address going forward, but I'm bringing it up to make sure that there's awareness around this issue. I've linked to a site that actually showed you Bitcoin nodes and their distribution around the world. It's a really cool site. Second thing that I think is really important for Bitcoin is how disruptive it's going to be going into 2014 and 2015 in the financial services sector as well as in a number of other sectors. And it's really exciting because it feels like it did back in the late 90s when the internet was just starting to get traction. The infrastructure had been around for a while, but then large-scale consumer services were starting to be built on top of it. So it's a really exciting time for Bitcoin. You're going to see quite a few projects being built, and you've already started seeing that in 2013. But also, you're starting to see investments starting to happen. Now, the basic phrase that's been thrown around in the community of Bitcoin startups is there's more money than there are startups to invest. I've not necessarily seen that money getting dumped into startups yet. I think there's a lot of discussions going on right now, and it's really going to take into 2014, potentially 2015, before you really start seeing these companies getting that investment in the bank such that they can scale out these startups. I think that's really a product of all of these individuals who made their money through the first internet bubble, realize that this is similar to that, and they're being really cautious around it. They have the ability to understand Bitcoin, whereas back in the original bubble, they didn't really understand it, but they were just dumping money in it. They do understand it now, and they're making sure that they're appropriately addressing it and appropriately investing in companies that are going to address Bitcoin in a really big way. So I'm excited for that. And then the third thing that I think is really important for Bitcoin today is more of a concept for a product than it is an actual product right now. And that is the idea of creating an algorithmic government that basically is managed by a protocol instead of by people. So people contribute in that they contribute laws, they contribute ideas, and then that is distributed out to the community in the form of democracy, basically, where you can contribute back your opinion, and then through the algorithm, things that want to go through, and things that don't. So it's a really interesting idea. I think it would have to be appropriately addressed to prevent mob rule in one respect, but it's an interesting idea of taking the idea of decentralization and bringing that to the form of government. So I think it's really cool. I'll link to the GitHub page. I hope everybody's having a great day. I can't believe I forgot, but happy birthday, Bitcoin. 5-year birthday. Just happened last week on Friday. If you're a project or a service, send me a logo, send me some information. I'd love to talk about you. Hope everybody has a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.